Welcome back to this operational series on Pennsylvania and Berwind. I'm Wasted Tries, and this is episode 2, and we're actually just picking up in the middle of a 2-hour stream, exactly where we left off, with a train destined for Iron City, dropping off lumber. A couple things to update you on. First, the sound in the first few videos is pretty variable. I'm sorry about that. I think I'm going to get that solved. Secondly, the car tagger and MI2 issues that I reported before, I think they're solved now, not in this video, but now. Last, I hope that you like this kind of different content, operational content. One of the things I love about trains is that both route creation and operation are interesting and fun, both to play, but also to watch others play. And I know operation might seem a little less creative to watch, but personally, I still enjoy it. I find it very relaxing to watch others play this game. And I think the community does need more content creators. I'm not aware of any other P&B operations series like this. Let me know what you think, though. And now let's just jump into it. So this is interesting. It's a Dave Snow caboose that was added to the DLS like yesterday. I don't know. So I put it on the route. I did reskin it slightly. I made the colors a little bit darker. It seems very light in color in its default view. And it's also quite amazing in terms of the interior. This is the first time I'm actually looking at the interior. So yeah, you can be in the aisle, you can be looking at the restroom, you can look at the peanuts that are available. That's a nice view. I think I would take this view over putting in all the details of the interior otherwise. Okay, have we seen everything now? I think we have. Getting that flange action once again. Okay, so basically boxcars are going to Jake's Freight. Yes, Jake's Freight is going to be very inconvenient, isn't it? So actually, maybe it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether I take the whole train with me right now or not, as far as I can tell. Okay, I'm going to save it, just because it's a good idea. And then I think we're going to go back to the driver control center and find out what our other locomotives are up to. It would be pretty interesting and unusual, based on past operating sessions I've done using this method, to get all of the cars dropped off at the industries where the trains coming onto the map had needed to go to. And part of that, I guess, is just because the route is smaller and most of the locations that I happen to be navigating to are rather near the beginning. But still, it's kind of surprising to me. I don't remember the total mileage, but I think it might be like 42 miles for the P&B, as opposed to 67 miles for the Wallace branch. Then, of course, the Wallace branch has the additional complication that a fairly large number of the industries are serviced by the Northern Pacific, but the industries themselves are on the far side of the map, so you almost never get a situation where those industries are receiving goods from the short side. And then you also have the situation where some things on the east side of Lookout Pass need to be receive goods from the Union Pacific, but that needs to be interchanged in the middle of the map, so that's another complication. All right, I think I'd like to drive you via AI control, but I need to know the track mark. Let's, ooh, I could just drive to the actual loading place. Wait, this is not correct, is it? This is the Babcock mine? Am I going the wrong way? I was trying to get sand. Okay, sand is actually from the quarry. Oh, there's two things that have 13 cars. Interesting. Yeah, I was going the wrong place. Okay. At least we got it sorted out before I sent it there on autopilot. Este says, "Hi all. Wasted, how do you attach the spreadsheet to the session? Does that require an external tool?" No, the spreadsheet is simply open on my computer, and it is not controlling anything in the game other than I am following its actions. But that's, yeah, it's not, there's no session goal in the corner here. There's nothing in the session rules that's guiding my action. If that helps. I assume that that's sufficiently clear. All right, now could it go on AI control? Yeah, and for those of you who joined my last game, it was a little bit of a difficult decision because I thought I was going to do the spreadsheet for the Midwestern Rails, and I had spent several hours putting that together, and then also putting in the multi-industry 2 tracks throughout Midwestern Rails, and also deleting some parts of Midwestern Rails because it seemed like it was too large. Not that those parts were bad, but I deleted them because I wanted to shrink the physical size of the route. And gradually, as I worked on it more and more, I realized I was going to end up basically devoting months or even years to reshaping the Midwestern Rails to be what I wanted. Which is not the point. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm okay investing time in changing the route a little bit, but too much needed to be done on Midwestern Rails. Okay, so is it Huskins 6? Yes. Huskins, track 1. How about Huskins runaround? No, let's just keep it simple. So yeah, I probably spent about 2 days working on the Midwestern Rails. Not 2 days work time, but worked on 2 separate days. Excuse me, I had to cough there. It looks like the AI is actually taking it where we need to go. So here with this layout, all of the tracks came with the multi-industry 2 installed. Now, for Midwestern Rails, I had already taken the time to put in the multi-industry 2 for almost all the industries that needed servicing. But there were other things that needed to be addressed. Here, all I needed to do was check the multi-industry 2, make sure that they had goods that my cars, my rolling stock could actually service, and then make sure that I had cars and locomotives that were suitable. Also, yeah, for the Midwestern Rails, I was leaning towards using CB&Q, in other words, Burlington route, as my main theory of where the Midwestern rails were, what route was located. I didn't actually know that it was supposed to be in Wisconsin. I thought it could be in Iowa or something like that. And I couldn't find that many assets, and I didn't want to do a bunch of Burlington route assets of my own. Whereas here, I did do the Conrail assets. They were relatively easy, and they look relatively nice compared to the assets that I had seen from the Burlington route, from the DLS. I did think about it, like, I could make some Burlington route. There's some nice looking ones, but I decided ultimately I didn't want to. I do like the Burlington route livery, at least some of them. All right, now that this is well in hand, I think it's time to go to another one of our locomotives. Let's go to Conrail GP9. I should have actually saved as I jumped across the map there. All right, so one car has unloaded. So although every industry has been reached, you can see it's going to be a bear to actually finish all these if each car takes a certain amount of time to unload. Now this abandoned track, I think it's still usable. So I could just shove these boxcars over here, and then that would save this little tedious crossing the road for the next time. For the most part, I left the goods that Approach Medium had assumed would be serviced for each of the industries. So this is sugar syrup. But for a handful, I did adjust. Okay, now let us do what I just said. Anywhere that had two different types of general goods, for example, I deleted the one that my boxcars do not generally take. Anything that took lumber, I switched that out in favor of the Toomey lumber asset. Anything that was logs, I switched that out in favor of my own log asset. The beer, I also switched out in favor of my own beer asset. Which I might switch back. That was one where the way that Approach Medium had it was kind of cool, where you actually had to deliver some kegs, empty kegs, to the brewery. But my boxcars aren't programmed with that particular QID, so I took it off for now. Pretty easy to go back. Wow, that guy stopped very quickly. Now let's check to see if, I think for some of these, okay, You are supposed to drive to Allegheny, and you're not doing it. Why not? Oh. Here I said it was so great how we weren't blocking anybody because the other train had gone forward. But in fact, we are blocking people. Shall we just go and couple with the gondolas? Giaro says, gotta bounce. See y'all next time. Thanks for coming. All right, let's find out where the other train is located right now. Amy has actually reached here. Okay, very good. Get these cars positioned in. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Might need to go into Surveyor to fix that if there's no way to into the sand track. We will find out very shortly. Or I could just go fix it right now. It's this one, right? Does this track even go anywhere? Necessarily going to keep those triggers. If I have to come back and edit this area a bunch, then I'll probably end up having to delete those triggers because I mean, obviously then it would be a pain if I had to redo them, but I suspect they're related to controlling some AI functions that I'm not going to be using. So this one's correct, that one is ambiguous. Let's get this sand loaded. Some very tight switches, but I think it's reasonable. I mean, it's a very... You can see the tracks are intentionally designed to be a very rough road. I suspect some of my detail settings are incorrect for viewing the grass. You know, it doesn't look good from this direction, basically. It's something I've noticed quite a bit. It's one of the reasons I've shied away from doing a certain amount of foliage on my own route. I'm interpreting this as a service road, not necessary to do the horn. Eagle says, it's an old grass asset, that's why. Oops. I stopped too early. Anything pre-TRS 19 that is just cardboard will not work. New post-TRS 19 grass and cardboard assets look better as they use the new technology. I see. Makes sense. Oh, there's actual traffic on this road. Gonna split the train up so it can be taking advantage of both of these. Oops, I did not mean to take the train that far. Must be a downgrade. Oh yeah, it's a 1.4% downgrade. That's why it accelerated so ridiculously. Okay, I'm guessing I put this on a 5-minute or maybe less, maybe 2-minute. But anyway, we're not staying here. Oh no. Well, that was almost a catastrophe. All right, let's try this again. Bit of a long clear there, but we made it. All right, well, I do think we have to leave the area now. So, despite following that road with a big semi-truck there, actually clipping into the train. But business is business, and we need to get on down the road. How far back is this? Not that far. Sometimes the sounds are really nicely done. A few of the sounds are a little bit too too loud, too repetitive, and so on. Yeah, regarding the billboard grass assets, I did actually try to make one of my own, just not a spline, but a static clump. And the result was unfortunately not very good. So I ended up not using it. Wonder if we can make it to Allegheny with this train. I think we do need to go back to look at our Jeeps, check out what's going on at the candy track, because that was not working. It looked like it might not be working anyway. All right, Shawnee, we need to drop 2. And is Briar here? Oh yeah, Briar is here too. So actually we need to get to Briar. What I should have done is I should have brought all of the cars up to here and just fouled the main line here instead of doing the siding. That would have been much better. Skybox is pretty nice, and I feel that the skybox actually changed during the course of the day, but that's not possible, is it? Nice shot with just the locomotives on their own. I don't know if this would be even considered as a power move, given that we're only going like a couple miles back down the track to pick up our train. There's Amy in there. There is a Conrail SD 40-2 asset on the DLS. In fact, there may be several on the DLS. The one that I downloaded was, I think, the one that was weathered. and it did not have automatic running numbers, which I think is, for me at least, pretty much a minimum. I want to have the automatic running numbers. It was not PBR textured, but I didn't mind. It looked good. Then I think the others were not weathered at all. They're just plain blue, so I figured, well, I'll create my own one. And how long did that take? Probably 30 minutes. Eagle says it's impossible for the sky to change by itself in the session. Got it. My plan is to run from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Not today, but in general. I don't like the appearance of the game after 4 o'clock. Even if the lights are not coming on yet, it's already, the shadows are too long and the glare is too bright. I've said it before, but I think it seems like such an easy thing for the game developers to change. Not to change the appearance of the glare, that probably is quite difficult, but to just make the sun not set at 6 o'clock every single day of the year, everywhere in the world. That seems like something that the devs could solve without totally rewriting anything. It took me a while to figure out that that was the case. I definitely set it to summer with the intent that I would have the longest daytime possible. Aside from not wanting to do seasonal, but... Let's see. Not paying attention. At least we're following him, you know. I could have been off looking at the scenery. Alright, let's have him go to navigate to Shawnee or something. Drive via, is it 4? Wow. 4 through 6. I think this is Laurel, where I'm at right now. PBS? Oh, Shawnee, Main West. 403. The AI does not bother to do a horn, I guess. Yeah, it goes from 600 here to 500 here at the Huskins. And then Shawnee and Briar are 400. In the high 400s. High being 403. And then Allegheny is actually 400. Even though they're different towns, like I probably would have incremented upwards by a full 100 because of the distance there, but yeah, I get the idea. I suppose the numbers relate to something about the subdivisions or something of the route, or the blocks of the route. Block signals on the route. Okay, so we're going to go, let's first jump in to a reasonably close level, and then let's have a look at our GP9. If that car did not unload, it did not unload. I'm just going to back up the cars one more car length, and it's something that I'll just have to investigate. So with a 1 minute loading, this is going to be a little bit more doable. I think it makes sense for the loading time to be shorter for things that can unload via pipe and chute and something like that. Whereas I think for the box cars and flat cars, where you would need a crane or some dollies to really spend some time opening up the doors and closing them again, moving boxes out, then 10 minutes and 15 minutes might be more reasonable. I hesitate to go any beyond that because then it's so slow that you can't tell if it's working or not. I like to be prototypical, but I've had sufficient problems with the asset, as we can see just there, that I don't want to get into anything where I don't know whether it's working or not. So thank you for ringing the bell for hours and hours, apparently. And we are right where we want to be, blocking the road. I can actually take it forward. Actually, why don't I just decouple right now? Kind of already forgot that the box cars are going to Jake's. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at whether it's possible to get these these particular loads to appear a little bit, you know, the LOD distance to be a little bit longer for these loads, but I suspect it's not possible. Now, I'm sure the assets themselves are just cubes, so it might not be a problem to just replace the mesh with an alternative cube of the same dimensions. And then create an entirely new load asset, not even that same cubid. The other asset that I had looked at remaking, which had the same problem, where it was like, okay, I thought that I could just upgrade the version number, the build number, but I couldn't. That one, to redo it, it was more of a pipe, so it would have taken a little bit more effort to get the dimensions right and the materials right. Gosh, this is looking a little tough here. I thought we might be able to just drop all this train off. Of course, we still could. I could just leave a couple of the cars on this track. Let's just make sure it gets started, though. Yep, it's starting. I didn't actually see it appear over here. Iron City sash and door unloading. Center beam 10. That must be on the other side? Oh, here we go. Number 9 is starting. So it looks like it can do 4 at a time. Yeah, 3 trains is not bad. All right, let's see if we can get this one to trigger. Pulled it a little beyond center intentionally there. One thought I had was maybe the center of the loading area is slightly different than what I thought it was. Oh, it's going. I don't even see a announcement here. Oh, I didn't scroll down suites, right? Okay, well, I'm not going to bore you with that because we're almost towards the end here. Let's just make sure we see what each person is doing. So we have Adair. He's working the suites. Okay, and there's a lot to do here. We've got all these cars left to do, plus all these box cars, and that's going to be a big effort. So clearly, it's going to be like a day worth of effort here to actually work this industry. It might be the situation where we have a few of these Trackmobile yard to service a couple of the smaller ones, but this one might require the actual locomotives to be there switching out tracks. Eric, of course, is just on this train. Oh, they seem to have reached their destination. No? It says manual control. That's always so confusing because it says manual control, but it's not. Beautiful area. I remember this episode. I would say the whole time playing the last 2 hours, I have not ever felt like I was playing on a map that's only 1 or 2 or 3 baseboards wide. I always felt like the scenery was staged in a way that you get that world feeling. Obviously, the edge of the world came into view many times, but, you know, when I'm in close, I'm not seeing anything. Any edge of the world. I mean, you know, it's there, of course, obviously. Okay, so GP9 Adair working the sweets. We've got Tasha working the Iron City. And then we have Amy, Eric, and Hank all on their way to Shawnee, which I think is just right up the way here. Let's see how far we have to go, because maybe we could get one more thing done. Yeah, here we are. Got a rooster crowing out there. Lots of interesting farm equipment around here. Oh, that is an interesting derelict barn. Oh, this horse is running around. I haven't seen that before. Couple of them. Oh, this one is more trotting. I think I like that one a little bit better. So many assets on this route that I have never seen before. And I think some are proprietary, but most are off the DLS, and I just haven't seen them. All right, let's stop here, which we're already stopped, so that's nice and convenient. Let's decouple, and we'll head the head end of the train off to Allegheny, which is just around the corner, really. Allegheny West Yard Track, or what? Maybe we just go directly to the steel plant. Steel Track 1 West, or maybe just navigate to. Steel coil outbound track platform. Because I think he needs to pick up steel rods, but I don't know which track needs steel rods. Okay, we got plenty of time, so I might as well find out that information right now. Might be necessary to do a run around once there, but I thought it was in here, but maybe it's not. Is it over there? No. Oh, it's down here. It probably directly underneath this thing. It is hard to find. I know it's there. Okay, maybe it's actually going to be more visible from the map up above. Okay, so it's right there. Aha. Okay, so this steel coil is on number 1. Steel coil on number 2. I-beams on number 3. And 4 is going to be rods. And we need rods. And I had him going to mountain number 3, but we need to change that to number 1. Number 4, sorry. Okay, cancel this one. Okay, I'm going to take this up to the team track and then move back down and take the others to the Mid-America Grain Company. I think that's where the barley is going to be. It better not be here. Could be. This is barley. Oh, shoot. Well, that doesn't matter. Plenty of space. Is this wheat then? I suppose so. Wheat, right. Okay. I mean, it's been a pleasant session. Other than the car tagger not working, I didn't actually have any problems, unless you count the suites not working briefly, but that was a minor issue that resolved itself, so I'm not counting it. I do like also about this route that grain is a major part of it. I think one change that I might make to my spreadsheet, not to the route, would be to up the volume of grain to make that much more of a central point of the industry servicing. Not that it's not already pretty well present. All right, let's stop it so these two cars are directly in between that device, whatever it's called. Unloader. Yeah, it's a nice long track there. I assume this is all usable. Don't exactly see where it ends. Probably right where it goes under the branches there. I think we can assume that's the end. Amy is waiting for track clearance, so might want to go check that out. The team track never really started on its task, so I'm going to have to check that before we end the session. Actually, what we want to do right now is not pause. We want to stop the train, decouple here. Okay, this is correct. This is not correct. This is correct. Yeah, it's nice to arrive with two road switchers at an industry like this. Get to be more efficient. Even though one of these should be directly going to servicing, but handle one switching task beforehand is okay. Actually, I better make sure this one is correct too. Nope. Oh, interesting that you could actually go pull through there. That's nice. It didn't look like you could initially, so I didn't try that. Okay, so this episode gives you a fairly good example of my play style, jumping around from train to train as we service industries and keep trains moving across the route. In future episodes, I plan to include more of an ongoing update on how many tasks are getting completed. Right now, we mostly have tasks underway, as you can tell. The lumber at Iron City, the barley and wheat pickups at Shawnee and Briars, servicing Sweets Candy, obviously. Next time, we're going to come back and start handling things in Grafton and Old Town, dealing with some of the cuts that we left at Industries for others to handle. So we're going to need to bring more locos onto the route to enable that. Not a locomotive for every industry or every cut of cars, because that would be no challenge at all, but enough to where we're not going to be able to necessarily see every train during 1 hour episodes. And also enough things going on where tasks and trains and cars are really going to start piling up. But you hear that music, so you know it's time to go. I'll see you again in about a week on the PNB, or next time on the Wallace branch in a few days.